In the UK urban scene, the most prominent genre is grime. However, in later years, the most popular genres include drill, trap, and Afro bashment, with most of the songs featuring on YouTube channels such as GRM Daily and Link Up TV, with the South mainly dominating rap, East founding grime, and North having the most mainstream success. However, there is also a scene in the West with artists such as AJ Tracy, and there's even also artists with their own unique sounds that do not use any of those platforms, such as Masterpiece, Shalingo, and Greasy Ninjas. One group in particular which epitomizes the unique sound is a group called the 98 Collective, and this video will be based on the main act in 98 Collective, Lava LaRue. So here we go.
Play that music.
Yeah.
Ava Laurel, or Ava Laurel, born on the 21st of May in West London, in the borough of Kensington, where she was also raised, on a council estate in an area called Latbrook Grove, which she refers to as the heart of West London, in an area called Notting Hill, near Kensal Green. Despite the fact that she grew up on a council estate, most of her school friends lived in semi-detached houses, similar to the ones that you might see in a 90s rom-com. The area that she lived in was a very diverse one, as there were several different subcultures, including in her family, which was half British, half Jamaican on her mum's side, with both of her grandparents being first generation Jamaicans, her grandma being from St. Anne's and her grandpa being from Kingston. Her family growing up was inherently musical, as they would play different music at various events such as church on a Sunday, birthday parties, and of course carnival every year. The main sounds playing in her house were reggae, rocksteady, and soul. Growing up on the estate, she could feel the racism and classism, as there would be several drug raids on the black side of the family, including some incarcerations. Due to actions like this, she ended up being put into care and then became a foster kid. During her teens, she was heavily influenced by fashion and music. For example, she was a big fan of the TV channel Planet Rock, which featured rock music content, and around the same time during the early 2010s, she on YouTube discovered internet music with acts such as Crystal Castles, and around the same time was a fan of the Erykah Badu album New America Part 2. When it came to fashion, the internet also inspired her, and she would spend her weekends going to Camden Market to shop for various clothes and accessories, as well as the shop Cyberdog. Her aesthetic wasn't similar to most girls, as she was someone who wasn't too fussed about her nails, and her style consisted of hats, baggy trousers, similar to the 90s hip-hop aesthetic. Also, she had Air Maxes, which she would wear often to house parties and raves. In 2012, when she was at a skate park, one of her friends was wearing an Odd Future jumper. She liked the Odd Future logo, the donut logo. Originally, she hadn't heard of Odd Future, so she assumed it was the Simpsons logo. However, when her friend told her it was Odd Future, she went and looked up Odd Future and then became a fan of the band Odd Future, as well as acts such as Tyler the Creator and Sid the Kid. As the area she lived in was a very diverse area, the kids at her school during the summer holidays, when they were able to wear what they want, would wear different things, which was influenced by their culture, and sometimes different kids would copy each other, including in her own family, which had Jamaican heritage, and some of her friends might copy the g.o.y.d aesthetic, and she might be inspired by other cultures too. That year, she was also a fan of albums such as Lonerism by Tim Impala, and was also a fan of the group Diane Wood. Going into 2013, when she was 15, she ran away from foster care and got a job. In 2014, she started to take her music seriously, as she would write poems and then recite the poems over old school hip hop beats. That same year, she started her own SoundCloud account and would continue to be influenced by music, for example, the album Home Shake. In 2015, she then joined a college and studied music. Whilst at college, she made several friends, which included a girl called Jess Smith and a guy called Lloyd McDonald. In 2016, after being inspired by underground parties that she attended over the years, music that she was a fan of, creative events that she was a fan of, her and her college friends decided to found their own group named the 98 Collective, which was named after the year they were born in, 1998, and the group was designed to do fashion, music, videos and parties. The fashion side was known as House of Garms or House of Nine, and the music was just 98. The original members of the group were her friend Jess, known as Big Pig, who was a singer and a rapper, her other friend Lloyd, who was a producer, known as Mac Weather, named after his last name, obviously McDonald, a rapper Bone Slim, another rapper Lorenzo, and of course her. Originally, outside college, they didn't have any access to any studio time, so they would mainly record most of their music in their bedrooms, and she even at the time described the group as having a DIY style with a DIT aesthetic. DIT standing for do it together, as they would help each other out in different ways.
Like 24 hour phone unlocked, watch.
As she was ready to take music seriously, she used Wix to create two websites, one called Lavaland TV, which was for her work, and one called 98collective.com, which was for the group's work. The style that they had in fashion and music was kind of like a DIY style, where they kind of had the punk ethos with the 90s hip-hop hustle. As she says, some of her influences growing up, as well as people I mentioned in the previous chapter, people like Grace Jones and John
g.o.y.d.
Document magazine describes her sound as consisting of lo-fi hip-hop and R&B, and one of her main instruments is the guitar, which she sometimes posts herself playing on her Instagram account. As well as creating the website, in 2016, she also started to upload to her SoundCloud, with one of her first uploads being the song Save You, which also had a remix by Mac Weather. And that year, she also hosted her own event called Lava's Secret Session, which was a set of different acts in West London performing. It mainly consisted of 98 Collective and another West London group called Lola 614. A year later, 2017, she releases two projects, one being a mixtape called Lavaland Part 1 and the other one being an EP called Lil Rue. One of the songs on Lil Rue called Ladylike featuring Big Pig, which does touch a bit on her upbringing. In 2018, she releases a free track project called Lecturer, which has a music video for the lead song on the project called Lecturer. That same year, she adds some new members to the 98 Collective, one of them being a guy called Nile, also known as Nasty Nige, or just simply Nige. In September, she performs at the Boiler Room Low Heat event in London, where she platforms the rest of her group and even introduces some of the new members later on that year, she gets invited to perform in Berlin for the Colors show on YouTube, and she does the performance. And on YouTube, as of this recording, has 1.5 million views. In 2019, she collabs with various different London artists such as Lewis Culture on the song Culture 4 and producer p-rallel on the song 99. That same year, her and the collective release a joint project, and one of the songs on that project, TLSL, talks about her upbringing in detail with lines such as,
Be a witness from elaborate growth to bricks.
that year she also performs at Boomtown Chapter 11 and Glastonbury 2019. In September, her and the collective perform at Boiler Room Festival Day 2 Rap, where on their set they bring out acts such as Natty and Nico B to perform his viral song Mary Berry. That same month, she then starts her first nationwide tour, which also includes a highlight reel which can be seen on YouTube. In November, she gets invited by Converse to go to California to be there at the opening of rapper Tyler the Creator's Golf Wang shoe release, and she accepts and brings along Big Pig with her. Whilst in LA, she meets Tyler the Creator himself and indie singer Clyro, as well as Clyro's drummer Eddie Burns. Towards the end of 2019, her, the collective, and some extra friends talk about music, talk about their favorite songs of the past decade as it was coming towards the end of the 2010s, and they talk about their predictions for the 2020s in music and culture.
Was that the question you were asking?
As well as music, her and the 98 Collective, especially her, are politically motivated, as leading up to the UK general election, they were passionate Labour supporters and they all tend to hold progressive values. With her in particular, she even loves to share her political views on her Instagram stories as well as her other social platforms. Also, she is a member of the LGBTQ community, as she is a non-binary person and she goes by the pronouns they or
she.
And she also looks up to political activists such as Angela Davis and others, and even used one of Angela Davis's quotes at the beginning of one of her tracks from 2017. And on her song Tree Flip, she has some political lines such as,
Flip pussy pull up, pussy power be the ammo. Only ever mad at me. Never put a woman down, female solidarity. Never be disloyal to generations in pen, yeah. Baby B always dealing with feds. So I read up on the new Jim Crow. My lyrics.
so these clearly show that she's passionate and well read on these things, considering she's not someone who studied this in university or sixth form, but she was keen on her own.
Record that shit off of my phone.
As of 2020, her and the 98 Collective are still making music, and she was in 2020 supposed to perform at the Lovebox Festival, but the gig was cancelled as there was COVID-19 pandemic. And in her opinion, she believes that the West London scene is growing as the musical acts like her group 98, Elevation Meditation, and rapper Big Zoo, who are all growing and pushing the scene. And in her opinion, her best gig that she's done to date was Boomtown 2019. And one thing she says is one of her influences that keeps her going at this point in time is all the people around her. Okay, so this is the end of the video, or quote unquote documentary, video, biography, whatever you want to call it, of Ava Lavalarue. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really want to say sorry about the quality of narration, because I know the narration wasn't very good. Obviously the mic has that annoying sound issue, and I'm trying to practice my speaking to get better. And obviously I hope Ava liked this video, and hopefully I'm gonna do some more in the future, so please stick around, and thank you so much for watching. There will be more. Please subscribe to this, and also there is a vlog channel if you're listening on YouTube, so check that out, and bye.
When I'm quiet or I'm mute, it's cause I'm halfway on the move. But you're staring in my face, whilst my brain is up in space, listening to you complain. But I really just wanna say that I know you got shit on your mind, boo, on your mind. But times that by tens, what I'm going through. Got problems I can't even tell you. Got problems, but she don't